Am I stepping over my own boundaries by saying yes instead of no? Am I letting someone push me around? Am I keeping still and quiet? What is it that I'm doing actually? Hi my lovelies, welcome back. In this video I will do a short recap of the last one, really do a dive in what the golden conscious is, and of course I will wrap it up by explaining why this is so important on your self-love journey. My name is Roeleke and I'm a self-love specialist. So in the last video I talked about the golden conscious, which is primarily being aware of what your brain is doing, what it's saying, what it's thinking, noticing and observing, not saying anything about it, not wanting to change it, just notice and observe. And I gave you the tip to write it down. Write down the situations, write down what it's doing, so you can start to recognize the patterns that she made to keep you away from pain. And in the meanwhile, always be gentle and loving towards yourself. So that was the last video. In this video, I will really dive in. To really break it down, I will use the golden circle of Simon Sinek. Why, how, and what. Only he uses it from the inside out, so start with your why. And we're going to use it from the outside in. So we're going to start with what. For those different parts, I will use different examples. But those examples are the examples that I think of, which means that they might not be really recognizable to you, because the examples can vary by person or per situation. So it's really up to you to figure out what it is for me and how can I use this information for me. How can I translate it towards my life and what I'm doing and who I am. And don't be afraid to ask for help on this one. Also a big step in learning how to love yourself more. And your defense mechanism will turn on when you're doing this. Why? Well, it took a long time for her to create all these thoughts and habits for you to keep you in your comfort zone, to keep you away from the pain, because that's her only job, keeping you away from the pain that she knows. So once you are trying to unravel all these thoughts and beliefs, she will get triggered and try to fight it. So be aware of that as well. Don't get discouraged. Don't think you can't do it. Don't, if it doesn't work for a second, well, it doesn't. And if it doesn't work for a day, well, it doesn't work for a day. So be it then. Take your time. Be gentle. Baby steps. There's no deadline. Really, there isn't. In upcoming videos, I will talk about your comfort zone and explain what it is and how it's connected to your defense mechanism, your ego, and why it wants you to stay there. So let's dive in. We're going to start with what. What is it that I'm doing? For instance, I'm hiding myself. I'm keeping myself small. I'm not speaking out. I'm hushing myself. I'm stepping over my own boundaries. I'm saying yes instead of no. I'm being pushed around. So, what is happening? Notice and observe. That's all. We're going to move forward to the how. How am I doing this? What is it that my mind is saying? What is she doing? For instance, am I canceling appointments? Not because I want to cancel or I just don't want to go. That's fine. But on some level, I'm scared. Maybe scared of overstepping my boundaries, maybe scared of what other people will think of me. Maybe it was an appointment to go with a friend to some place that you've never been before, or with new people that you've never seen. And maybe you're scared of what they think of you, or what they might say when you leave. Am I talking more loudly than I want to talk? Overshouting myself? Am I drinking more alcohol than I want to drink? Am I saying yes when I want to say no? Am I being mean? Am I bullying other people? Am I pushing people away when they get too close? Am I choosing to put myself in such messed up, chaotic situations that I feel like I have no other choice than to cross my own line? Again, notice and observe and start to write this down. How does this pattern work? Where does it start? What is my triggering point? And again, take it slow. Take your time. It's new, or maybe it's your next level and you're really diving in this time. So it's going to be a challenge to really figure this out, and that's fine. It's there for a reason. Don't forget that. It's there to protect you. That way of thinking, those habits, is there to protect you. So don't be mad at yourself. Maybe you can even say thank you once in a while. Which brings us to the next step. Why? The ultimate question to everything. Why am I doing what I'm doing? And if you're okay with this life at this moment, the way it's going, then it's just about being aware and noticing what your brain is doing. And start to recognize the working of your wonderful brain, what it does and how it works. Love it. But if you really want to change certain habits or certain behaviors, then this is very, very important part. Take your time with this one. Really dive into all the reasons why you might be doing what you're doing. Because again, it's telling yourself that you're not good enough. And why would you do that? Where does that come from? What happened? What is it that you don't want to remember, or what is the pain that you don't want to feel? Really dive in. And like I said, she will turn on. And with she, I mean your ego, your defense mechanism, she will turn on. She wants to keep you away from the pain that lies underneath this way of acting. To make it more clear, I'm going to use an example from myself, a personal example. When I was little, I was bullied a lot. Mostly at school. And there were different ways of doing it. Some people would ignore me totally. Some people would just call me names. It was never physical. But the thing that I want to talk about now is the way that there would be my friends one day, and then the next day they would call me names and bully me or ignore me or whatever. I'm just going to highlight one piece of it for the sake of this video. So we're going to start with what? Whenever I had an appointment with a friend of mine and they would run late, I would freak out, like totally freak out. Or if I called them and they didn't pick up, so they had a missed call and they didn't call me back in, let's say, 1 hour, go berserk. Or if I text them and they didn't text me back in like an hour or whatever, berserk. I would really literally freak out. I wouldn't ever tell them though. They didn't know that at all. And because I have this very calm posture and this calm energy, people don't notice if I'm freaked out or scared or whatever. They don't really see that or notice it. So nobody knew. But inside, I was freaking out, screaming, everything. On the outside, nobody knew. How was I doing it? Well, I was telling myself that there you go, you messed it up again. They don't like you anymore. They probably hate you now because you said something or did something which was stupid to do. I would tell myself that I wasn't worthy of friendship or worthy of love, period. By the way, I wasn't worthy of anything, not worthy of attention. Basically, I was telling myself I was a bad person. And then when they did return the text messages or whatever, I wasn't really relieved, or I didn't tell myself, oh well, maybe I just exaggerated because they came back now, or they were just running 5 minutes late and they even apologized or whatever. I would never tell myself that. I didn't even notice that that happened. It was just, for me, the in-between time was more than enough to make myself work harder to be a better friend, so even more pleasing, so even whatever, do everything to keep that friendship going. So that is how I was doing this. Once I figured that out, I dove into the why. Why was I doing this? Well, logically, I went back to my childhood years and figured out, hey, this being my friend one day and not being my friend the next day without any reason, obvious reason, made me feel like I was the reason. So I did something wrong, I said something wrong. This is just the way a friendship is supposed to be, maybe. I don't really know. So I made everything about me. And it really made me believe that I was to blame, because they didn't do anything wrong, because they were still friends with other people. So they must be all right or whatever. It must be about me then. So I really felt, no, I have to put it differently. I decided that I was unlovable, unlikable, and not worthy, not a good friend. And that decision started when I was about, I think, 4 or 5 years old. So it was really carved into my habits and my beliefs and my thoughts and the way that I move through the world, because it was a core pain that, my ego, my defense mechanism never ever wanted to go back to again. So she made a wide web around it so that I never had to touch that again. But I did, because I wanted to move forward with my life and wanted to change, and I wanted to change the way that I felt about myself. And in upcoming videos, I will tell you about my healing story, my healing story and how I did that. And maybe you can, take something out of it, and it can help you heal yourself as well. But that's for later. Now I'm going to tell you how this all fits into your self-love journey. Maybe you started this self-love journey because you wanted to change in the way that you were thinking, or maybe a certain habit that you want to quit, or maybe it's because you want to be more loving and gentle towards yourself. Maybe you're just stuck and thinking, okay, what am I going to do now? What is it? Is this it? Whatever it is, you wanted a big enough change that significantly changed the course and direction of your life and will help you live your life from a place of love instead of a place of fear. To really do that, to really change the foundations that you're standing on right now, you need to figure out what it is that you're afraid of, what it is that you put in those boxes. You need to figure that out because you're standing on those boxes now. That means that you have to step off them and slowly open them, like I said in the last video, and see what's inside. See what you hid in there. See what the pain is or the trauma, what it is that you're afraid of. Look it in the eye and start the healing process. That's the only way that you will really change into your core that is significant enough that it will last throughout your lifetime. And you don't have to open them all at once. It might even be that you open one and then you're good to go again. The funny thing is that standing on those boxes got you where you are today. So maybe while you're working with it and figuring stuff out, maybe you can also find some love for those boxes and find some love for your ego, your defense mechanism that kept you alive all this time up till now, up to this very moment. Everything that has happened to you made you the person that you are today. Got you here watching this today. So yes, it can hurt. I know. It hurts. I won't say the word. It hurts like hell. But you can also heal from it. And wear the scar with your head up high. And be proud of it. And use it to strengthen yourself. And use it to create more love for yourself. Which also means that you will bring more love into the world. So to recap this video, we dove in the golden conscious. We used the golden circle. Why, how, what? But we used it from the outside in. What, how, why? As always, be gentle, take your time. There's no deadline, no rush. Love yourself during the process. And notice the difference. Notice maybe little things that you see different now. Notice the way that you say that you're starting to talk to yourself. Is there a change already? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, I don't know. But be aware and really love yourself through this whole process. Because it may feel like you're not doing anything, but you're doing a whole lot. You're doing inner child work, you're doing shadow work, you're being aware of your conscious. There's not a lot of people that are being aware of what they're thinking all the time. You're changing your ways. You're starting to feel more self-love. So, I mean, you're doing a lot. And that's not even talking about all the energy shift that you're making as well. So be proud of yourself. Change or repeat, my lovelies. The choice is always yours. See you next time. Bye.